that the film's called Teeth. Her fanny actually has some sort of like I don't know, like structure, some like bone structure to it, where
Yeah.
it resembles teeth. And literally, anyone that obviously got with her, they suffered. So this is based on true events, but the film's called Teeth. Maybe we'll talk about it at some point in the future. But yeah, I digress. We should start the show now, innit?
Oh shit! Oh, what have you
It's already
started?
recording.
It's already recorded. This guy, man, this guy, he's pulling a fast one on us. Well, listen, look, folks. Maybe you heard a bit about that movie called Teeth, which we'll kind of speak about. But listen, look, thanks for joining us on this episode. This is episode 161. So Deval and I are
Yeah.
back in the hot seats. We are bringing you movie news. We're bringing you the usual banter. We've got a review of the big sci-fi movie
Mm,
of basically 2021. Right? Come on, Deval. This is huge,
epic.
isn't it?
Epic.
Big movie. And what's even more epic is the fact that Devel went out and watched it. I haven't even seen it
Really?
because it
It's on
it
HBO Max
has
now, you know?
what's that?
It's on HBO Max now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but you
So
know what? You got to watch it on the big screen
on the
though,
big
right? This
screen.
one.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I mean, I got to wait for that one. So yeah, so Deval's going to be speaking about Dune, and if we've
Mm.
got time, we can throw in another film review. But yeah, we've got kind of like interesting things that we want to speak about, and hope you enjoy the show. Stick with us. Remember, catch us on your wherever you get your podcast, and leave a review, Deval. Isn't that right? If
Yeah.
they
Leave
leave
a
a
review.
review, what can happen?
Yeah, if you leave a review, you can win a Rakuten movie voucher. Basically, it's like an online streaming service. You can stream movies and watch them in the comfort of your own home. It's getting kind of cold out here. Well, it is in England anyway. So if you just write a review, inform us of writing the review and let us know where it is, and then we'll send you that movie code right to your email address. So yeah, that's it. Nice and
That's
easy.
it. Exactly. And so some of the people who have done that, they're gonna, they end up being our shout outs. And talking of
Yep.
shout outs, Deval, let's do the shout outs.
Yep, we've got quite a few shout outs, so I'll sort of whiz through them. First one is our very own Zakharov, who we can shout out every week. But we were talking about horror films, we've been talking about Dune, we've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff, hidden gems. Every week, he always comes good and tells us what he's interested in. So, yeah, Zakharov, if you're cooking, make sure you spice it up nicely with a bit of Flixters spice there.
Exactly.
King Dot Salani, go check out her page. Really, really great content on Instagram.
Yeah.
Again, we were talking about horror films this week, wasn't it? This week was all about horror films,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people were telling us what they liked. But also this week, we were also talking about the Closer on Netflix, Dave Chappelle, and
Yeah.
most of our shout outs actually talked about that as well. So I think King Dotsolani said she is actually a member of the LGBTQ community,
Yeah.
and she didn't think Dave Chappelle said anything that was too crazy. Charlie Jar UK as well. She was watching Squid Games, been watching that actually, so
Yeah.
she's loving that. I Ram Kel Ellie again watching You season 3 is on Netflix at the moment. K James HL, he was watching some bits and bobs on Netflix and shouted us out as well. He
Yeah.
loves Dave Chappelle. And Joey underscore NW91. He's got his own podcast called The Realist Debates. Go and watch that on YouTube
Yeah.
right now. So there's our shout outs for the week.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for kind of, keeping the conversation going on. And I know
Yeah.
Kay was kind of like said a couple of things like, about, the closer and everything. And,
Mm.
how, well, we'll speak about that anyway. We'll get onto that. But yeah, thanks for kind of, chatting with us and letting us know how you feel, and keep that coming. We love it.
Yeah.
And again, you can be a shout out on the show. And we'd love you to do that. Right. Okay. On to movie news now. Deval, this was kind of, this kind of like, stirred like shit up on the internet, especially kind of like,
Yeah.
the MCU fans of the MCU. We're fans of the MCU, of course, because we speak a lot about that stuff. And there's some delays. So just break it down for us and break it down for me as well, because, tell us about these delays. We're not going to see the movies when we were supposed to see them.
Nah, but it's a bit sad. I mean,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. I mean, Doctor Strange, first of all, Doctor Strange was supposed to be out in March 2022, and now that's going to be delayed until May 2022. It's only 2 months, give or take.
Right. Okay.
Basically, all the movies that were supposed to be out next year. So that's Doctor Strange, that's Thor, Love and Thunder, and also Black Panther, Wakanda Forever are all being pushed back 2 or 3 months. So
Right.
Thor, Love
Okay.
and Thunder is now going to be July, and then Black Panther 2 is now going to be November. So it's just going back a bit. So I guess it's not too bad. We're still getting three Marvel movies in 1 year, which is always a good
Yeah.
thing.
Which is
But
big. Yeah.
just means you have to wait a little bit longer.
And then did Kevin Feige or did anyone from kind of Disney or Marvel, did they ever, like, say why they're doing this?
Yeah, they said it's just a bit of delays and things that have knocked on from obviously the pandemic and other bits and bobs that have impacted on production. So they didn't go into too much detail. I
Sure.
don't know if it's possibly if it's a reaction to DC. I shouldn't think so because I know DC got quite a lot coming out next year too. Next
Yeah.
year is
Yeah.
going to be a crazy year, but
But Marvel,
I don't know.
they're not quaking in the boots, man.
That's
They're gonna pull out the big guns, man.
exactly. Shouldn't be. They shouldn't be scared of DC. They are the ones leading the industry, leading the world when it comes to comic book content. So
Yeah.
I should think it's just to do with like what he said. The pandemic and other bits and
Yeah.
bobs like that.
All right. Yeah. And remember, folks, we still got Eternals, which is going to be in the next like few
Mhm.
weeks, and
Yeah.
then the Spider-Man. So listen, huge. This year isn't over yet, and obviously we're going to be
Hmm.
bringing you that. And and keeping it with Marvel. Now, this is pretty big. Now, you and I, we've spoken about this a lot, Deval. We've kind of mentioned this whole thing. Look, we've got the Incredible Hulk. We've got Bruce Banner in the MCU. We've had kind of like some standalone movies, and
Yeah.
2000 and was it, when was the Ang Lee one? When did that come out?
2003.
2002?
2003.
2003.
Yeah.
So we've already had the
I
Ang
like
Lee
that one.
version.
Mm.
Yep. And then we had the 2008 one, which is part of the MCU. And we've
Yeah.
always kind of wondered, right, when are they going to bring a standalone Hulk movie out? So what's the big news here? Because this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, so reportedly, Marvel are finally working on a Hulk movie. And it's
Wicked.
something that I didn't think I'll hear myself saying out loud because
Yeah.
Hulk is the rights are owned by Universal.
Yep.
And the only reason we get to see Hulk in, Avengers and stuff like that is because he is part of another movie. The movie isn't headlined by Hulk. If that was to happen, it'll be Paramount that has the ownership of that. So it seems like somehow something's been done. A deal has been struck, and it seems like Hulk will have his movie. Whether it's a loophole and the movie will be called something else, but involve a massive Hulk storyline, that remains to be seen. But from what I understand, the movie could be centered around World War Hulk,
Yep. Yep.
which in the comics and stuff is where Hulk gets really mad because I think his family end up dying,
Yeah.
and he comes to Earth and goes crazy on the people that he feels are responsible. So he literally just tears the world apart. So
Berserk, man.
yeah, so let's see what happens with that one.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna. The rumors are that we're gonna see him in the She-Hulk show, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the rumor too. Yeah, and I think it's because somehow Jennifer Walters gets some of his blood, I think,
Yeah,
to become She-Hulk. So somehow, yeah, he's going to be in that. I don't know if he's going to be in it as, Professor Hulk or as Banner. I don't know how we're going to see him, but he's going to be in it.
yeah. Well, listen. Remember, at the end of Shang-Chi, he's
Mm,
kind of normal, but he's normal. He isn't Professor
mm,
Hulk anymore now, is he? So
yeah,
it could be that that is the version that we get. So listen, folks, we'll keep you posted on that one, and that's going to be really exciting if it is that storyline, because I think he deserves kind of his
yeah,
own story.
yeah.
And now, keeping it with obviously Marvel, but let's add in some Sony as well.
Mm,
There's rumors, or well, actually not rumors, but I think this is actually going to be happening. Sony are adding two new Marvel movies to their roster of movies
mhm,
coming out,
mm.
and we're still waiting for Mobius.
Michael Morbius, that's out in, I think it's either March or January 2022. That's been
Right,
delayed. Yeah, so that's
that's been
coming out
delayed.
next year.
We're
Yeah.
going to get a Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. They're working on that at the
Yep.
moment, and we're going to get that. So, what do you think these two new Marvel Sony movies could be?
According to the timeline, I mean, Spider-Man Homecoming came out 2017. Spider-Man Far From Home came out 2019. Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out in 2021. So
Hmm,
in 2023, I think it's another Spider-Man. Every two
another Spider
years,
movie.
they seem to bring out a Spider-Man because it seems like Sony and Spider-Man are quite, even in the pandemic, they still brought it out, 2 years later. So I think, yeah, Sony really want to push this Spider-Man out because it prints them money. And I wouldn't be surprised if they, bring out another Spider-Man movie, as well as possibly I don't know if it could be a Venom movie or something else, perhaps. Maybe we spoke about Craven the Hunter as well,
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah.
so he could be a possibility. So yeah, I mean, either way, I think Sony and the Spider Verse is gonna grow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And obviously, the big tease from obviously Venom, we
Yeah.
know there's going to be a link up at some point, and that could
Hmm.
be one of those movies. But yeah, I haven't heard much about Craven the Hunter, but I'm pretty sure as we get closer and closer to 2023, we'll hear more about that. And they're
Mm.
looking maybe a January release for that one. So yeah, so we'll keep you posted on that one. And just on kind of. Blast from the past there. Let's speak about Hayden Christensen. We know that he's going to be back in the Star Wars universe, Deval,
Mm.
and unsurprisingly, he's going to be playing Darth Vader. But where is he? Where is he likely to show up?
Yeah, when I first heard of this, I didn't know if it was going to be in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series,
Yeah,
uh, or, or wherever, but it looks like it could be in the Ahsoka
yeah,
series, and that does kind of make sense, I think, because yeah, in the animation, I mean, Anakin was her
mentor.
yeah, mentor, yeah, exactly. He was
Yeah,
her Jedi master. She
yeah,
was his Padawan, and the relationship was tight. She kind of reminded him of himself when he was growing up because he was a bit rogue. So they had a good relationship, and it's if that does happen, if it does, if it is revealed that he's going to really be in her show, I think it's going to be deep. It's going to be
mm,
really good, yeah, because Ahsoka is a fan favorite. She is
yeah,
such a good character. And Anakin, again, he didn't really. I think the prequel movies didn't really,
yeah.
didn't really fly as well as they could have. So maybe he's got some unfinished business.
Yeah, and he's had an interesting career, hasn't he? We haven't
Mm,
seen him in my. I don't remember him seeing him much. And just before we started recording, we were speaking about Jumper. He was in that one.
mm.
He was in
With
like
Samuel L. Jackson, actually, again.
yeah, exactly. Again, Samuel Jackson, and he was in
Yeah,
this kind of like New York, I Love You. I think he was in that one as well. So
yeah,
I haven't really seen him in much, but hopefully, we're going to see obviously get to see more of him and like maybe see more roles that he does. But yeah, so
yeah.
Darth Vader's going to be in kind of like we're going to see him again, and that's a character who's like a fan favorite
Mm.
as well, right?
Definitely. People love them some Darth Vader. I think was people tend to like the anti-hero stroke sort of villain sometimes. Like they're like Boba Fett, like anti-hero. Love a bit of Wolverine, love a bit of
Yeah,
Venom. They love a bit of an anti-hero. And Darth
yeah,
Vader
yeah.
is more anti than hero, but they like him.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on that one. Now, I just want to let you all know if you're fans of the Wonder Woman franchise, if
Mm,
you're fans of that character, Wonder Woman 3 is definitely going to be happening. So Patty Jenkins, she was online and she officially confirmed that Wonder Woman 3 is currently in the early stages of development. I
okay.
haven't got any idea on
Mm,
like who the villain is, but remember at the end of Wonder Woman 1984
oh my
they had
gosh.
Linda Carter. She turned up,
Yeah.
which she was the original kind of Wonder Woman from the TV show back in the day.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not sure if that was just something that they gave to the fans or whether or not she's going to be incorporated into kind of like But we kind of um, I found I think I liked the first one better than the second one. I think
No,
I'll have to
definitely.
watch
No,
it again.
no, you did. Trust me.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
second one was just, I
was
mean, we had
like
Oberyn Martell, Pedro Pascal, I think it was Oberyn
Max
Martell,
something Max. I can't
Maxwell
remember.
Lord. We
Yeah, that
had
was it.
him like blowing wind at Wonder Woman, and she couldn't even, get past the wind. It
Yeah,
was just, that movie was such a letdown,
all over the
such a
place,
letdown.
basically.
Yeah, didn't like it.
And I hope they can like obviously redeem themselves, and the fact that
Mm.
they've got Patty Jenkins back on board,
No,
that's
do you know
going to
what?
be great.
I actually think I don't want to. I don't want
No,
to.
oh, what you
No.
think that they should give it to someone else
Yeah,
now?
I think she messed up. I think she's got too much control over it. I think because it was written by her as well, pretty much, and I
Oh
think
yeah,
someone
you're
else
right.
co-wrote it. I think she needs to let go of it. She needs to. go and do a Star Wars, and hopefully she does well on that. But I know it
Yeah.
sounds bad, but yeah, I actually don't want her to do it, even though I know
So
she will.
what direction do you think they should take it? Because obviously we're
Man,
going dark with Batman. The Flash
yeah.
looks dark.
Wonder
What
Woman
you
is
know?
she's the most gangster Justice League character. She can fight. She's got the attitude of Wolverine with a bit
Yeah,
of the sort of heroicness of Captain America. When she wants to
and that
get down, she
cheekiness
can
as
get
well.
down. Exactly, but we don't see that. We didn't. We
Nah.
saw bits of it in one. I think
Yeah.
I saw more of it in Justice League actually.
Yeah.
She can get down with the villains, but in this one, she's flying like doing that kind of just weird fly where she's just I don't know, man. It's nah.
It
Someone else
was.
needs to do
No,
it.
I know what you
Someone
mean.
else needs to do it,
Take
man.
the reins.
Yeah.
Someone else, yeah. Give it to someone else. So yeah, so listen, look, if you're obviously fans of that, that's going to be coming out. And finally, I just want to quickly mention this. Um, Fans of John Wick, listen, we know that John Wick 4 is going to be coming out. We know that
Mm,
that's happening, and it was supposed to be coming out this year, but it's been delayed and whatnot. But they're working on a prequel called The Continental. I can't remember if it's
mm,
a show or it's a movie, but check this out. Some of you might hate this because, you know, Mel Gibson, he kind of lost fans because of his
mm,
kind of behavior off screen,
yeah.
whatever. But he is actually going to be in the Continental, the prequel, as an assassin.
Mm,
So,
okay.
yeah, I kind of find it interesting that Mel Gibson, this kind of Oscar winner, he's going to TV.
He's got to get paid, isn't it? He's lost a lot of
He
jobs.
needs them
He needs to
dollars,
get
man.
paid, man. He
He's
needs to
got about
get
eight
paid.
kids.
Is it?
He's got about eight kids to feed. So yeah, I just kind of like, yeah, let us know what you think. If is that a good thing? Do you think, because he can kind of play the kind of the rough and tumble type of
Mm, mm,
people. He kind of
yeah.
gritty as well, and he could do that. Maybe it might be a good role for him. I don't know, but you'd be interested to hear your take on it. And before we close off movie news, Deval, let's just speak about this just briefly,
Mm,
if we can. This news just came out. I remember we were chatting about it on WhatsApp just a couple, kind of like a couple of days ago and stuff. Alec Baldwin.
mm,
Um, the reports are that he's making a movie called Rust. It's a Western movie, and tragic accident that happened on set.
yeah.
So a prop gun was fired, and the cinematographer on the movie passed away,
Mm,
and the director was injured.
yeah.
So this is in 2021. This sounds crazy, Deval, man, that this shit is happening.
It is crazy now, and I really I want to find out the mechanics of what the prop gun can do, what projectiles come out of it, what
Yeah,
makes it safe or unsafe, because I can't fathom how this happened. I know obviously Brandon Lee from 1993. There's an incident
yeah,
on set and stuff like that. But I think from what I've heard so far, it's a totally different sort of
and very
mechanism.
rare.
Yeah, exactly. And this is also very rare, but still, the fact that I just thought these guns, I don't know, they you shoot them and this light comes out or something to make it look like
Yeah,
it's being shot. But I guess in that sort of the light emitting special effects, that has to physically have some sort of you know mechanism, I guess. So
mm,
I'm
mm.
just still surprised that that can still hit someone, penetrate the skin, and obviously someone can die. So it's really sad, really
It's
sad. And I guess
absolutely
we're gonna
sad.
find out more as days go on.
Yeah, well, the thing that I was reading into this, there's the armorer. So the job role of the person in
Mm,
charge of dealing with that sort of stuff is called the armorer. And
yeah,
apparently they're making big news of this, and I'm not sure whether or not this is helpful or not. But
allegedly. I guess we have to say allegedly as well.
so,
Mm,
allegedly, sorry, yeah.
yeah.
The armorer of this movie called Rust was on a podcast about a month ago, and
Mm,
she was, she's on this podcast. I'm pretty sure you can probably find it, but she said that she didn't feel confident a month
mm,
ago,
okay.
doing the role and everything. So maybe it was someone who lacked a bit of experience. I can't comment.
Mm,
I'm not
mm,
even like, I'm not even, I don't want even want to speculate. But she's the news outlets are kind of picking up on this and then saying that, oh, somehow maybe she didn't have the experience to kind of like do this and stuff. And obviously I didn't know jack shit about it, but it's just
mm,
sad the fact that it's happened. And man, that's just fucking, it's just crazy. And like you
definitely.
mentioned, 1993, I remember the whole Brandon Lee thing,
Mm,
filming The Crow. It was a kind of like a pivotal point in the movie. It was actually his death scene. and
Oh,
kind of like a
wow.
projectile came out, got shot in the stomach, and then he died on
Wow.
April Fool's Day. I remember it, man.
Serious. I think you
April
mentioned it
Fool's Day.
before. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And
got the
people didn't
text
know it
message
was,
and I was
people
like,
didn't
"Nah, you're
realize it was
joking."
serious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So yeah, any more news on that? Obviously, we will kind of like update our movie news and stuff. But yeah, man, that's sad news.
Mm,
Unfortunately, we've got to move on to other stuff.
yeah.
So new on streaming now. Devout. I've heard a lot about this show. It's called Invasion.
Yep.
It's on Apple TV. But yeah,
Yep.
man, what can you tell us of this?
Do you know what? This is the sort of film or show that I like. And I know we talk about Netflix a lot, Amazon, so I felt it was really good that we get some, other streaming services on here. So Apple TV just came out a few days ago called Invasion. And it's literally about what it says. It's about an invasion of extraterrestrial beings. And it's quite a subtle invasion. It's not like Independence Day or
Right,
anything like that. But this is really really subtle, and they seem quite advanced. You don't know what they want. It's Sam Neill stars in it, and it just seems like one of those shows that will hook you in, and
right,
you'll just you'll sort of find out bit by bit what's going on. But there's also all these subplots between different characters. There's a married couple where the husband is being cheating and the wife found out and she hates him, and then in amongst that hate they now have to deal with this threat. And
right.
there's a Sam Neill's like the sheriff. He's going to be retiring. It's his last day, and then he stumbles across something weird. He has to now investigate
Ah.
it. So there's all these different subplots, but it seems interesting. I'm only one episode in so far, but I'm looking forward to see how
Yeah,
this turns
sounds good,
out.
man.
It looks good.
I've
Yeah,
seen the trailer for it. It looks good, and it's got Ronan
yeah.
the Accuser in it, Lee Pace.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember V?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
The
It's kind of like
lizards in it.
the lizards eating the kind of
Remember
like
when
the
the
rats.
baby was born? He was like,
Oh my gosh, man. Ugh, that was
a baby,
wicked.
the
I
baby.
remember that scared the shit out of me, man, in the
Trust
80s.
me.
And then they did a remake it later on and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, which was good
Need
as
to get
well.
those sunglasses, man. Those V sunglasses are
Oh
wicked.
man,
I
that
could
was wicked.
get them.
Um, Sounds like it could be something like that, but yeah, we'll have to wait and
Mm,
see. All right, let's check out the trailers. And yeah, I know this trailer's out there. I haven't seen this one, but this is Uncharted. And just
yeah.
remind everyone again, why is this a big deal? Why Uncharted?
Yeah, Drake's Uncharted is a
Yeah,
PlayStation game from back in it came out years ago. I guess
years
it's
ago.
almost like their answer to Tomb Raider, but it's a male
Mm,
version, and he goes around trying to find treasures and all that kind of stuff. It's in an action adventure game,
yeah,
and this trailer stars Spidey, so Tom Holland's in it, and also what's his name, Mark Wahlberg.
yeah.
I
Mark
think Mark
Wahlberg's in it.
Wahlberg is actually the character that's in the game, but they've done a little twist on this where Tom Holland is like a younger version of him, and he's the main
Oh,
guy that's going to be doing all the adventuring. So it's
yeah,
pretty much like that. Think of Tomb Raider, but a man. Think of
yeah,
it like
yeah,
that. So that's what it is. That's what you get. It seems all right. I'm probably going to watch it, but I'm actually not too fussed about it because
yeah.
to me the trailer looked okay, didn't look great, and yeah, it's just. But if you're into that kind of thing, you're gonna love it. Definitely.
Sure,
If
sure.
you're into the game, you'll love it even more.
Yeah, and I think they've been sitting on this movie for a while, man. There was like
Yeah.
reshoots and there was stuff going on behind the scenes and they didn't know what to do with it. So yeah, hopefully it's a great movie. And the other one that you can speak about is Ambulance. So yeah, tell us about this.
Yeah, this one stars Abdul Mateen. What's his name? Yeah, Yahya Abdul Mateen the second. Who?
Second.
Yeah, the second. Don't forget that. And we're going to see him in Matrix. We've
Yeah,
seen him in Watchmen, the TV show. We saw him
yeah,
in Us. We've seen him in many things. He's a good actor, and
yeah.
it stars him and Jake Gyllenhaal. It's Michael Bay film actually. So this film stars those two characters, and basically I think they're good guys turned bad.
Mm,
Situation happens. Abdul Yahya Mateen, the second's character, is an ex-soldier. He falls on bad times. He needs money. Jake Gyllenhaal's character is a bit more of a rogue kind of, bit of a naughty boy,
yeah,
and he says, "Yeah, I can set up a heist. We can get some
yeah,
money. We deserve it. We've served our country. Why are we left on the scrap heap? Let's go and
yeah,
rob a bank." And obviously, from there, it goes crazy.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, it looks like an interesting one. It's very very much Michael Bay from the trailer. The swooping camera shots and that over action, over. elaborate scenes and all that.
Yeah,
And yeah, it looks fun actually, to be honest.
yeah.
But yeah, it centers around an ambulance as well. I mean, no, it doesn't center around an ambulance. I think there's a part where the ambulance is important, but that's it.
Part
Yeah,
of the
apart
heist.
from that,
I
yeah,
love a good heist movie, man. I think they're great. Like, good genre movies, heist movies are really good. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
yep.
All right, so we've got a really interesting movie for you on Anniversary Corner, and it kind of lends itself to the main movie that we're going to be speaking about on the review. So if you haven't seen this, like seriously, these movies are great. I love them. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, man. And I remember, man, Deval, when this came out, because we had the Mark Wahlberg movie that came out in in the late 90s, was it, or early 2000s? I can't remember. And
2001. Yeah, that's actually 20
2001.
years. Yeah.
Exactly. And I always kind of thought to myself, man, why didn't they extend that? The Tim Burton directed that one. It didn't do too well at the box office, but I liked
Mm,
it. And, so great acting in that one. And then there was like this reboot, relaunch that was going to be happening. And we had Planet of the Apes with James Franco. And then this is the sequel to that one.
yeah.
Great, great,
Yeah.
great movie, man.
Well,
With,
actually, this is the first one. This is
oh, sorry. Is this the
Rise.
first one?
Yeah, because there's Rise, there's Dawn of the
Dawn of the
Planet of
Planet of
the
the
Apes,
Apes.
and then there's something else of the Planet of the Apes. The third one. The third one wasn't all that. I think the first one
Yeah.
is probably the best one.
The third one
The
was
first
long.
one. Yeah, third one wasn't really all that. The first one was good. It's good to see how Caesar sort of gets intelligent.
Yeah.
It stars, you mentioned already, it's James Franco,
Yeah, that's it.
Frida Pinto is in it.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis is Caesar, and you got the guy from John Lithgow, who's the dad of James Franco's character, who
Yeah.
is suffering from Alzheimer's. They're trying to create a drug that cures Alzheimer's and other diseases and so on. So they have they have good intentions, but it just all goes crazy. Caesar and his mates, at the in the jungle, they're kept in the zoo. Yeah, so they get intelligence and they rise. They rise against their oppressors, which
Yeah.
many people across the world who have had that similar situation can feel for them.
Yeah.
Uh, but the graphics were really good. Andy Serkis
Really
is
good,
a
man.
gangster
He's
when it
he's a
comes to
legend in
motion
mocap.
capture. Exactly. But there's that one scene where Caesar goes to whisper in James Franco's ear, and he's like, "What did he say again? Caesar, go home," or
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. And that's been memed so many times. There's so many memes about that. But that scene there, and like
It's
James
brilliant.
Franco's like,
Oh,
he's
oh
like,
my god. Like he can't
and
believe it.
exactly. And there's another scene where Caesar says, he says no. I think
No.
yeah, where he in defiance, and you get to see the humanizing traits of the
Yeah.
ape. So yeah, that's a decent film.
It is
2010, 10 years ago, but it still holds up today. If you're gonna watch any of those,
definitely.
watch that one.
And you can catch those, I think, because of the whole Fox deal with the Disney and everything. Those
Disney
movies are all on
Plus.
Disney Plus.
You got that right.
So
Yep.
you don't have to go anywhere. You can go check them out on Disney
You
Plus.
don't
It's a
have
great
to
movie.
go. Mm-mm. Just
And I
Disney
wonder, I wonder
Plus.
if they're gonna do
Mhm.
another. I'm not sure if you remember this. There's this one little plot detail that they mention in the movie, and it's part of the '60s, as part of the novels, where a space, some astronauts, they go up into space,
Mm.
and they then come back and they go in through like a time time worm or something, and they come back to Earth, and then they
Okay.
find the Earth is ravaged. Man, they
Mm.
can just run with that.
Okay.
And
Shit.
in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you see a scene of it on the news. The
Oh, is
spaceship,
it?
yeah, the spaceship, it goes
Ah.
missing
Okay. Okay. It's like, oh, so they're almost like sowing seeds for the possible.
for, yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
yeah,
I
that's going to be
didn't
great.
notice
If
that.
you haven't seen it,
Oh, okay.
go
Nice
check
one.
that out. All right, so this leads us nicely onto the main movie that Deval's going to be speaking about. This is Dune. We've been waiting for this movie for a long time. It was supposed to come out earlier on this year, Deval, was it?
Yes, it was meant to be out. No, last year, wasn't it?
Last year.
I think so. Yeah. I think it was meant to be out last year, November. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, huge. Like, directed by a film director that we're huge fans of, The
Mm.
Arrival, Blade Runner, um, the Jake Gyllenhaal
Sicario,
movie. Sakaf.
Sicario, Prisoners,
Prisoners.
Enemy.
That's it.
The list goes on, man.
Yeah. So, man, listen, set this up for us and let us know your take on it.
Yeah, so Dune, 2021. Yeah, the thing with this film is it's epic. It's
Mm,
epic. I know I said earlier that Dune's out on HBO Max. You can watch it in the comfort of your own home if you have that. But if you can, go to the cinema and watch it. I saw it in IMAX and it was crazy.
nice.
The score is Hans Zimmer. I mean, I ain't got to say anymore, have I? I can just be quiet
All
right
right.
there. The music, the score moves you. There's scenes where people aren't even talking. You get all this slow motion,
Is
like
it?
you seen the trailer. You seen Zendaya like with her blue eyes go.
Yeah.
You see that, and Hans Zimmer's just carrying them through the scene. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, the score, it's epic, man. It's like, and the visuals, like the wide camera angles on the desert, and you're seeing all these like spaceships that are the designs of the spaceships. You've seen Arrival. Look at the spaceship in Arrival. It's not
Man.
normal. Do you know
Yeah.
why? Because they're not normal. They're not like us. They're not us. They're different. So their
Yeah.
design is going to be different. There's spaceships in Dune. Some of their like regular sort of people carrier spaceships, the small ones, they're like mosquitoes.
Oh,
It's like mosquitoes because they're in the desert, so they've kind of mimicked the kind of desert type, I guess, uh,
the
yeah,
environment.
you could say environment and the infrastructure and also the habitat and the animals. Yeah, the spaceships are like mosquitoes. The wings go like that and it flies off.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Great.
I'm going all over the place. But yeah, so
No, 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 man. I love it.
basically, this I watched the 1983 Dune,
Mm,
and then I left the house and watched this because I hadn't watched the other one. I saw it literally back to back, and I must say the 1983 Dune, it's kind of boring, but it's okay. But this one does imitate a lot of that film. There were certain
right.
scenes that were
Okay.
almost like word for word, literally, because I watched it back to back. It was so fresh in my
So
mind.
it's
There's
fresh
certain
in your mind.
scenes,
Yeah.
yeah, certain scenes where the dialogue is almost the same. Not a lot, just certain moments, but the story is literally the same as
Right.
Dune the original. The story's not different. Same characters about the warring factions between this house, and they call them houses as well, even though they're of different planets. They say House Fremen or House this or House that, and yeah, basically the spice is a certain commodity. You think of it like oil in the world that we live in.
Right.
People will fight over that, wars and stuff like that. Spice enables faster than light travel. It enables technology of a next level, and
Mm-mm.
there's people in this world that have sort of extra. They've got powers, man. A bit like
Right.
Professor Xavier, and they're kind of their minds are all like. So Timothy Chalamet's character, he's born of Rebecca Ferguson, who she is one of these people that have these powers.
Right.
They
Okay.
can they can say something in a certain voice, certain frequency, and it'll make you like do what they say. It's crazy. Yeah,
Shit.
and also the voice can be a weapon as well, but that hasn't come yet. That's going to come in part two. But yeah, so spice enables all kinds of shit that we haven't even fully realized. So they're all fighting over this planet to have dominion over this planet, have control over it, and yeah, it's war literally, and like the main characters, as I said, Timothy Chalamet does really well. He's what's his name? Paul is his name. You got Rebecca Ferguson, who's his mum. You got Omar Isaac, who's his dad.
Right.
He's like
Yeah.
obviously a big sort of leader in his house. You got Thanos. What's his name?
Oh,
Uh,
Brolin.
yeah, Josh Brolin. Thanos. He's like their sort of man at arms. He's like the sort of
Right. Okay.
the general in Oscar Isaac's camp. And then you got Aquaman, Jason Momoa. He's like
Damn,
their
he's
sort
in
of
it as well. Yeah.
wily coyote. He's their fighter. He'll go here, there. He's cool as well. And then you got what's his name? Professor. He was in Avengers. He was the sort of Scandinavian guy in Avengers.
Oh
Skarsgård,
yes,
something Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's in it. He plays one of these sort of baddies, you could say, who was in the original Dune, the sort of fat man that looked really gross.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot their house name. All their house names have got funny names. I can't remember them, but he's like the baddie, and they've made him look nasty.
Is
He's out to
it?
get. Yeah, he's ready to fight
So
and
he
get that
wants the
spice.
spice.
Yes, he wants the spice. Yeah,
Right.
And then Batista is on his side as well. So Batista's a baddie in this. Well, as depends on
Oh,
what
I
which
was
perspective you
thinking,
see
man,
it.
is he
But
going to be bad or good or what?
yeah, he's part of that sort of that group of people. And then you got the Fremen. The Fremen are the people on Dune who live on Dune, and they have blue eyes. So Zendaya has blue eyes,
Right.
and they're people that want freedom and they don't want anyone warring on their planet. And Timothy Chalamet's characters had these dreams that he's supposed to free the Fremen and defend their planet. So he's now thinking he doesn't need to like join the fight with the rest of the people.
Yeah.
He's
He's like the
his
savior.
fate. Yeah, his destiny. He's supposed to go and free the Fremen and protect them. And that's the same thing that happens in the original Dune. So I'm not. There's no spoilers here.
Yeah.
So I think the way. Well, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's going to be a part two. Put it that way, because what I saw in part one, the film is about 2.5 hours long, but what I saw in part one is literally only half of what happens in the
Damn.
original Dune. So I don't want to say what happens or where it happens at, but they leave it at a point where you know part two is coming.
Right.
No
Okay.
post credit scene, so don't worry about that. But
Okay.
it's just epic. It's just the sound is almost deafening at points. It's just
Wow. I love
yeah,
that.
it's loud. The visuals, the graphics, the special effects, uh, just the architecture. It's all alien. Don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna get regular stuff here. It's a good film. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a great film, but it's a good film. And I think when you watch it, part one and part two together, I think I'll better be able to
Right.
analyze it and say this is the package.
Yeah.
Holistically,
Yeah.
this is what you get because it's
Yeah.
only half done. You can't eat a
Yeah.
meal that's half done. It's not cooked
I
yet.
can't believe. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, there was an interview that Denis he gave just
Mm,
recently. He was like, after he directed Blade Runner, he
yeah.
was really scared that he wasn't going to work again in Hollywood
Why?
because
The reviews, yeah.
Blade Runner, it didn't do because of the amount of
Mm,
money that they spent on the
mm,
movie, obviously with the CGI and everything, with the graphics. It basically didn't like do well. Like they were
mm,
expecting it to be kind of like massive. So he was kind of like afraid that he wasn't going to get this. And then in that same interview or another interview, he's saying that if this doesn't do well, they might not they might not get a
mm.
second chance to or
Yeah,
might
they
not get a
better. They
second part,
can't leave
but they
it like
have
that.
to, man.
Yeah, they have to. So go to the cinema and watch it.
Yeah,
Everyone, go and watch it in the cinema because it does need a part two. It's not finished otherwise. It wouldn't be right.
yeah.
Wouldn't be right.
But like in terms of like the scale of the movie, this is like
Mm.
your like I'm just trying to think like a big budget, big scale movie. What
They're
other ones
calling
are
it
like
like the
Interstellar
modern
or
day. They're kind of calling it the modern day Star Wars, which I think you shouldn't compare
mm,
it to Star Wars. You shouldn't. But I see what they're saying. The way people are fighting over certain things. It's all in space, and
yeah,
it's all that kind of stuff. So I get why they're calling it that. You could say it's almost like Game of Thrones in space because the way
right.
these families are fighting over the throne, which is spice, it kind of reminds me of that as well. Very political in some parts.
Mm.
So it kind of like that. And don't forget, there was a TV show that came out in 2000. Only
I
had
think
about
I
three
remember this.
episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it had Professor X. What's his name? The Scottish one.
McAvoy.
McAvoy was in it. Yeah, he was in it for a bit.
Wow.
So they have tried to do this before, but it didn't really work out. So this iteration. I think it does work well as a movie.
Yeah,
So yeah, go ahead and watch
yeah.
it.
And that whole thing about obviously cinema release and HBO Max
Mm.
watching it at home, you would say no, go watch it in the cinema.
First viewing cinema, second viewing
Right.
home. Yeah,
Watch
I
it at
would
home.
say. Yeah.
Right. Well, there you go, folks. Go check it out. And obviously, we know that cinemas have opened up and obviously in the
Mm.
UK and everywhere else and stuff. So they're really pushing for this to do well, and hopefully there is going to be a second part. Um, yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's a great review. Thanks for that, Deval. I mean, I'm definitely going to go watch it when it comes out. Unfortunately, it's going to be here in December, so still got loads, man. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. I had all the movies
Ah.
from last year. They came out over here, no problems and nothing.
Mm.
But James Bond, Carnage, and now this, they're just doing something really stupid. But the good
Mm.
thing is, I've already said this before, Eternals, that's coming out in on the
Yeah.
4th of November. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm definitely going to be watching that. We've got a couple of minutes, and I just want to quickly mention this one. There's a new movie out on Netflix. It's called Night Teeth. I only kind of appropriate to speak about this because obviously Halloween is coming. Um, and I haven't been able to watch a lot of the kind of movies, so I thought let me just check this one out. So, do you remember in Spider-Man No Way Home? There's at the beginning of the movie, there's 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 these two characters. They kind of make a video about the people who were lost in the blip. Do you remember that? Do you
Mm.
remember that?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So it's kind of this. There's a kind of like a Latino character, and there's kind of like a nerdy girl in there. Do you remember that? And then
Mm.
then Ned ends up with her. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah. 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 They're like the
Yeah,
sort of the news,
that's it.
the college, the school news crew or something. Like, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So the guy in that is the
Mm.
lead of Night Teeth, and he's a great
Okay.
actor. And
Mm.
I actually think that you know what, if they ever decide to do a Miles Morales live action
Oh, okay.
film, I
Could
reckon he
be.
could do it.
Is
He's a
it?
Latino.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's a Latino, and so his name is Benny in this movie, and
Mm.
he's kind of like into hip hop. He's kind of like a music producer and stuff. Like
Mm.
young guy, he's at college or whatever, and he lives with his grandma, and he's got a stepbrother called Jay, who it's not it's not clear whether or not he's part of a gang, like is he a gang member or whatnot. But as the movie progresses, you kind of figure out what he is. But basically, Benny, he's a nice kid, lovely kid and whatever. And he asks his brother Jay, like, listen, look, he needs some extra money, and like, can he do the driving for his brother? His brother Jay is like a driver, like a Uber driver or whatever.
Mm.
And his brother Jay is in a bit of a jam, and he says, "Okay, look, I want to give you the keys, and you've got this job. It's just pick up these two girls and take them wherever they want to go." So he's like, "Okay, cool, I can do this job. It's no problem." He picks them up, and something's weird about them. You can tell straight away. And they start asking him weird questions and stuff. And they're like, listen, look, hey, we've got to go to these places, these four places before sundown. And that's really important, sundown.
Mm. Okay.
And then as the movie progresses, you realize that the two girls that he's picked up, they're not normal girls. They're pretty and everything, and they're great. They're a bit crazy, but they're flipping vampires.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah. So basically, the whole movie is Benny mixed up with vampires who are going to these different destinations and basically killing people, and Benny's involved in it. And I was so hoping this movie was going to be great. I was hoping it looks great. They filmed the LA nightlife really well. The cinematography is really great. But flipping hell, man, it's just a rehash of
Mm.
like old tropes that we've seen before. It's got
Yeah.
Alfie Allen in it, and you spoke about Game of Thrones earlier
Uh,
on.
Young
Yeah,
Greyjoy.
so Balin, no, no, Greyjoy. Was it Theon Greyjoy?
Yeah, Theon Greyjoy. Yeah.
Theon Greyjoy's in it. You got Megan Fox. She's in it.
Mm.
She's only in it for flipping one scene, and in that one scene, she's really great in it and everything. But I was like, it's been a while since I've seen a decent vampire movie, and this could have been a great vampire movie. They just flipping fluffed the lines up, and you know what? I was hoping for more bite and ironic, and it's like that's what they do in the movie. They bite people.
Mm.
So
Mm.
unfortunately, this one is definitely going to be a thumbs down. So
Okay.
if you haven't seen Night Teeth and you were thinking about watching Night Teeth, just forget about it and
Don't.
watch something else.
What's teeth?
Go brush your
Yeah.
teeth instead. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I've got for this week.
Oh
So listen,
gosh. Okay.
that's the end of the show.
Cool. Good one. Well, there you go. Well, next we got what we got next. I think there is a little gap before Eternals comes out, so we'll find
Yeah,
something maybe to watch on Netflix or Amazon or something like that, and we'll have something for you next week. I know it's going to be Halloween actually
yeah,
next week, so we'll have to find something nice and scary for you. Maybe Night
exactly.
House. Night House is out. So
Night House is out. We can watch that.
yeah.
There's Somebody Inside Your House. There's the Black Mass, Black
Ooh.
Mass, I think, as well, or
Okay.
something. So
Oh,
there's a couple of things
shit.
that we're gonna watch.
Okay. Cool. Sounds
All
good.
right,
All right.
wicked.
Well, cool.
That's it.
That's it for today. Peace out. 4 years that the film's called Teeth. Her fanny actually has some sort of like, I don't know, like structure, some like bone structure to it. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters Podcast.